Good afternoon from Big Sky Country. I'm Stacy, owner of Montana Used Bricks, and today I'm going to be doing another food for thought video. But before I get started with that, I just want to take a moment to thank everybody who's taken the time to watch my videos, like them, and subscribe to my channel. I know I haven't done a food for thought or a My Bricklink store type video in quite a while. Work has been absolutely crazy. I've been putting in a lot of long hours, a lot more hours than I would like. I've barely had time to work on anything really. So just keeping up with Bricklink and trying to do a weekly video has been a real struggle. So I've been putting out a lot of Lego haul videos because they're quick and easy to do. And I know they're not my more popular videos, so I appreciate everybody who's taken the time to watch them, like them, and make comments on them. Like I said, today's show is food for thought. I was going to do a video about my pet peeves as a seller, but my husband felt that was a little too negative because I've had a couple of things come up in the last week that just drive me absolutely crazy. There were problems with my store, but they were totally mine. I'm not saying it was anybody else's fault. It was, missing parts that I know I have, but got placed somewhere else in the store, and it caused some issues. But I think my pet peeve with those were the buyers were asking me to do stuff that I clearly state in my terms and conditions I'm not comfortable with doing, yet they were asking anyways. That lets me know that they didn't take the time to read my terms and conditions. That's my pet peeve. My husband said it sounded too negative, and I really needed to move past that. But if you have a pet peeve as a buyer or a seller, could you put it in the comments below so I can prove to my husband I'm not the only one? So today's topic is food for thought. I pulled a few more things off of the Bricklink Worldwide Buyers and Sellers Face group. I seem to get a lot of my moments from there. The first one has to do with business cards. Hey guys, for those that have business cards to put in your orders, did you make them yourself or have another company do them for you? And just so you know, I do a business card. I've shown it before. I did update it recently so that it has the QR codes for both Bricklink and my YouTube video. And I put those in my order, but on the back of my cards, I have, if there's a problem with your order, please let me know. I've left you feedback, please leave me feedback, and then a place to put the order number. I did this recently, so I have a whole bunch of them, but I gotta say, as of today, we are now selling on eBay, which isn't mentioned on my business cards. I also hope to open a Brick Owl store. That's my goal. The reason I'm bringing this up about the business cards is because whenever this topic comes up, and it does come up every now and then, there are pros and cons, and it usually ends up getting a lot of comments, even if it's on the Facebook page or if it's in the forums, because there's some people that are very pro cards. They like to have them. Buyers like to get them. People just like that tactile, having that thing. But then there's other people, sellers and buyers both, that are like, well, I would rather put in extra parts or receive extra parts instead of a card. So it really is up to you. I personally like it. It just makes me feel good to put a card in there. It's my money, it's my store, it's the way I run things, so there's nothing wrong with it. If you don't want to do a business card, you don't have to. I've seen people who just have a slip of paper that say, hey, this is your Bricklink order number, or just a piece of paper in general that just has their information that says, please leave us feedback or whatever. So it really is up to you whether or not you want to do that. It's just interesting to me that how some people get almost hostile about it. I don't know if they're very green and they don't like the thought of all these business cards floating around out there, or they're really against it because they think it's just a waste of money nowadays. To me, it doesn't matter because the seller's the one that's paying for those business cards. So if they want to put them in their order, they can. If you have a Bricklink store, or even as a buyer, if you use business cards or you don't, can you put that in the comments? Just let me know one way or the other. Do you agree that business cards are okay, or are you totally anti-business card and don't want to even see it in your order as a buyer? Really surprises me the stuff that becomes heated topics in the forums and on this Facebook group, because to me it's just, who cares? But people care. The next one has more to do with missing parts and contacting the buyer when you have a missing part. Would love some thoughts, help. I aim to get my orders out within 24 hours. I had an order, 4 pieces, 4 lots, and I didn't have 2 of the pieces as they sold and not updated in my inventory. And then update says, I do now have one of the missing pieces. I think she meant I do now have one of the missing pieces. I sent a message to the buyer that day explaining what he wanted to do. No response. Sent an email the next day asking if he got my message. No response. Am I just being impatient? On the same day, I had an order with an invoice request. I sent the invoice but haven't had any payment. How long do you guys wait? What's the protocol if they don't contact or pay? The first part of this with the missing parts, and I hate to say this, but this happens a lot in my store. And I've said this before, but I swear to God, the minifigures come to life at night and move all the parts around, because I know I have certain parts, I go to pull them and they're gone. And I'm the one that does the bulk of the inventory out here, so it's me. As much as I would love to blame the little minifigures, it's most likely me. So I hate to admit it, but there are quite a few times where I am missing parts from orders. There's also times where I pull parts because once I go to double check them, I see that they're marked up, faded, scratched, something, and I just don't feel right about selling it. In the case of something where it's a fairly large order, if there's 20, 30, 40 pieces and only 1 or 2 are missing, I'm going to message the buyer, let them know which parts are missing, let them know I can refund or offer them store credit, and then I will mail the order out. In the case of something like this, where it's only 4 parts to begin with and I was missing 2 of them, I will contact the buyer and ask them if they want a refund, credit, or cancel the order. Because sometimes when it's a small order and you're missing half of it, they're no longer interested. And then there's this gray area that it's like it's a fairly normal size order, you're missing 1 or 2 parts, but they might be the more expensive parts on the order, and you're not sure whether you should let them know so they can cancel, or do you ship it and offer the refund? Do you wait? What do you do? In those cases, for me personally, what I will do is I will send them the message, let them know which parts are missing, offer the refund, credit, or to cancel, and then I will wait about 24 to 36 hours. If I don't hear back from them, I will go ahead and mail it and just give them the refund. And I've never had an issue with that, knock on wood, because now that I've said it out loud, I'll have an issue with it going forward. But I've never had an issue. Everybody's just been very grateful that I did still get the package out in a timely manner. It really depends on how comfortable you are, how willing you are to maybe take a hit, because there's always that possibility that you're not going to respond correctly or do what the buyer expects you to do, and you could still end up with that neutral or negative feedback, which is something that happened to me recently. I got a neutral because I canceled an order, but I hadn't gotten any contact from the buyer, and I should have done the non-paying buyer, but it was somebody who had like 800 positive feedback, so I'm like, there must be an issue somewhere, and I just canceled the order, and they came back and hit me with a neutral. My fault. I didn't follow the whole protocol that I should have, but I was trying to give the buyer a chance to not get dinged with that non-paying buyer. So like I said, it comes down to what you're comfortable with. There's a lot of different options, a lot of different ways to handle it when you're missing parts. And you really just have to go with your gut. In this case, if I had the 4 parts, I would definitely offer to cancel, and I would not mail it or anything until I heard back, because at some point they're going to come back and say, why haven't you mailed this package yet? And then you can be able to respond at that point. The third one I want to talk about, this is especially relevant for this time of year, especially if the Postal Service is working at the rate they were last year. And you'll understand here in a minute why I say that. How long is a reasonable amount of time to wait before refunding an order that says in transit, arriving late? I have a buyer who ordered on 11/21, shipped the morning of 11/22, who contacted me that his package wasn't there yet on December 1st. And after I told him I would be opening up a service request with USPS, his next response was today, 11 days after shipped, asking for a refund. I feel like this is an unreasonable amount of time, but unsure how long to wait. The only other time this has happened, it was a very small order and I just sent new pieces. The lady got the original package months later after they closed the service request. So if this is anything like last year, it was taking up to 3 weeks for packages to be delivered, especially first class packages. For me, in this case, I would not offer a refund right away, especially since the USPS still says that it is processing and it's going to arrive late. I would definitely wait at least 3 weeks, and then I would offer the refund. Because with the way the shipping is from now until Christmas, it could be sitting in a processing plant somewhere. My husband is kind of feeling the pains of this right now. We won an eBay auction, I believe the Friday after Thanksgiving. The package was mailed on the 29th. It went one town over. I know because I used to live in the area it's coming from, and it has been stuck in the facility for 5 days now. It isn't getting anywhere. It's just saying being processed, and there's really not much we can do at this point. We're going to have to wait and see if it eventually becomes unstuck and starts moving. This time of year, I wouldn't be really quick to refund. If it was the middle of summer and had been 10 or 15 days, I would definitely look into a refund. Those were my 3 food for thoughts for today. I do want to thank you again for taking the time to watch my video. And as I said, I have opened an eBay store. We have a whopping 3 items for sale. We're hoping to add to that. This is just kind of a test just to see how to upload things to eBay. And I will be doing another Lego haul video here very soon. And like I said, I'm really hoping in the next probably 2 to 3 weeks to be doing an interview type video, which is totally new to me and freaking me out a little bit, but I'm hoping it'll work out well. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you really liked it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.